having done it at such a high level, do you have any memories that stand out? Maybe a special memory of as your career as an official, thoughts on real highlights of your officiating career?
Well, I took enough head injuries as a player. I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. So, yeah, a couple. Two I'll share with you. One is my very first game in the Canadian Football League. I'll never forget that. It was an exhibition game in Winnipeg between the Edmonton Eskimos and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and both teams had 65, 70 guys on each bench. I was a line judge at the time. Do the first half in front of Winnipeg's bench, and I got Cal Murphy in my ear for the first part of the game, and of course they know you're a rookie, right? And I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I was so jacked up, adrenaline high. I mean, it wasn't until about midway through the first quarter that I realized, I said, there are 24 guys out here on every play trying to kill each other. It would be nice if I was in control of my own emotions. So I kind of took the big deep breath and settled out. And so that was a key one for me. And then having Cal in my ear was quite a challenge for the first little while. Amazing coach with a legacy, but he had this notion about young officials, and he was about to give me a really good intro. And then the last play of the game, I'd flipped over in the second half, and I was in front of the Edmonton bench, and the game was close. Edmonton attempted a field goal to win it. They were down by 2 points. They missed. The guy from Winnipeg, I can't remember his name, who received the ball in the end zone, caught the ball, and instead of just going down and killing the play and giving up a point, he decides he's going to run it out, and he comes whistling up my sideline and goes out of bounds into the Edmonton bench, and doesn't he get decked by one of the Edmonton players. And I go piling into this group to put my arms around the player from Winnipeg to get him out of there without getting assassinated. And all I can see across the field is the Winnipeg bench coming across the field. And we ended up with this Pier 4 brawl at the end of an exhibition game. And it was there, here you are, Dave. Welcome to the Canadian Football League. The second high level memory for me, and it's not ranking in any turn preference, but one of the clear memories I have was the 1991 Grey Cup, and that was my first Grey Cup appointment, and I was a line judge in that game. And that was when Rocket Ishmael was playing with the Argos, and John Candy was part of the ownership group, and Wayne Gretzky, Bruce McNall, the main owner, and it was like a circus around the whole Argonaut organization. But there was a young guy from Hamilton by the name of Paul Massotti playing for the Argos.
Great Paul Massotti, yes.
And I watched Paul grow up playing football, and I worked with one of his uncles as a teacher. And Paul caught a touchdown pass in that game, and I was about 5 or 6 yards away from him at the goal line when he caught it. And I was the jubilation and thrill in his face, in his body, is something I'll never forget. And to me, that's the joy of the sport, because as officials, you're part fan, and you're taking it in as a fan. And I think those are things that you just never forget. That's the game where Rocket Ishmael's whipping up the sideline and somebody threw a beer can out of the stands and it landed in the, it was just such a weird thing. But that catch by Paul was probably one of the more thrilling things, because it was personal. I watched that kid grow up, and here he is catching a Grey Cup touchdown pass. That was just phenomenal.
And you got the best seat in the house.
I had the best seat in the house. Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.